Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to my entry into What the Gym's Push for 200 Subscribers contest. Now the name of the channel is What the Gym, but the host is a young guy from England called Adam. Now Adam is a big fan of the Beatles, but what impresses me more is he's a big fan of the Proclaimers, and for such a young guy to know about the Proclaimers, I'm just blown over by it. I think it's great. I think one of his favourite songs is called Streets of Edinburgh from their last album, Angry Cyclist. And so normally people would say 500 Miles or Letter from America, but he picks Streets of Edinburgh, so it's great. Now Adam also likes movies as well, and I think he must be into science fiction too, because this contest for 200 subs, he's well over it now, I think he's 220 something, is to answer 3 questions related to space. Now the first one is to show an album cover that has a space theme. Now I misread this because I've been struggling with this. I thought it was show an album that has a space theme. In other words, all the songs were to do with space, but it's actually the album cover. But I finally got one which is all to do with space, and the album cover has a picture of an eclipse on it, and it's this boy O'Hare, and this is Mike Oldfield's The Songs of Distant Earth, which is taking the novel of Arthur C. Clarke and putting music to it, and it is all instrumental. There's 17 pieces on this and it is absolutely brilliant. It's from 1994. And it's the follow-up to his massive hit Tubular Bells 2, his big #1 hit in fact. But this is nearly as good. This is such a good, beautiful album just to put in the background. Absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see, there's an eclipse of either the sun, the moon, or whatever, I'm not sure, but it is a space cover. Okay, the second question is name your favourite song that is to do with space. That's really difficult because there's so many, but I'm going to pick this one here, and it's not really my favourite, it's not even my favourite Space David Bowie song, it's actually Starman, but I'm picking Space Oddity for a reason. Now this is the 1975 reissue with changes and Velvet Goldmine on the B-side, and this got to #1 in the charts in 75. The original single with the B-side, The Wide-Eyed Boy from Freecloud, was released in 69 and got top 10. But the reason I'm picking this is because 5 years after this one, this was released, Ashes to Ashes, and both of them mention Major Tom, who is the astronaut who got lost out in space, and by this time he had turned himself into a junkie. I don't know how. We know Major Tom's a junkie, and this was also a #1 hit for David Bowie in 1980. He also gets a mention in this here from 1996, and this is Hello Space Boy. Now this is the Pet Shop Boys remix. He doesn't get a mention, this is Major Tom, in the original album version, but with this remix he does get a mention, and this got top 20 in 1986. I think the lyrics are something like "Ground to Major, Bye Bye Tom," which I think Neil Tennant actually sings. So that's why I'm picking this one here, because it's like a little story in its own with this and Ashes to Ashes. So Space Oddity, David Bowie. Third question and final question is, what is my favourite space film or movie or even TV shows? Well, I'm not a big fan of science fiction or space movies. I have never actually seen Star Wars, can you believe it? I have never seen The Empire Strikes Back. I have seen Return of the Jedi, which is no point in watching if you haven't seen the first 2, but I saw it in the cinema when it was first released back in 1983 or something. I've never seen any of the Star Trek films. I have seen Spaceballs, which I thought was quite funny. But what I'm picking is actually a TV show, and it's a little cartoon, and it is called The Clangers. Now the Clangers were these little creatures that lived on a moonlight type of planet, and the only other inhabitants that I can think of were the soup dragon who actually made the green soup for the clangers to eat, and the only other food I can remember is the blue string pudding. Now the clangers made this sound which you could replicate if you had a bicycle pump, and you put the bicycle pump to your mouth and you blew it, and you made the sound of the clangers, and I used to do that when I was a kid. And I think it was one of those wee 5-minute cartoons before the news came on at 6:15. So that's my favourite. My other favourite I could mention is Captain Cremon from the Kenny Everett Show with Carler. It was part of his video show. It was only about 2 minutes long, and there's a little episode every week. So those are the two that I'm given. Okay, that's me for now. Please go over to Adam's channel, What the Gym, give him a sub. As I say, he is from England, so especially if you're from the UK watching this, please do give him a sub. He's also been on these chats with Samson John and Rich Strickler, so yeah, he knows his stuff. So he does. For such a young guy, he knows his stuff. So anyway, okay, that's me for now. All the best now. Bye bye.